ones, today I'm going to be showing you what I got in this month's Boxycharm box and let you guys know what I think about all the products and if I think it's worth it or not. So I just got the regular Boxycharm. I didn't get the Boxy Luxe. I heard there was so much drama with that. To be honest, it wasn't really that like had to get it or anything. It was like if I got it then I did, then you know that'd be fine. I ended up doing the wait list for the December box, but then I just kind of thought about it more and $50 is just kind of a lot, and I just decided to like not do any of the Luxe boxes. And yeah, so this one is just the regular one. I got version number 2 and this is the wildflower theme box. So the first product I got is a blush product. This is from the brand Laura Geller. I've never tried anything from this brand before. And this is called their Baked Blush in Brighten, and this one is in the color Tropic Hues. So this is what it looks like. It's definitely a very shimmery blush, which to be honest is not my favorite one. I prefer ones that are matte, and then I just like the highlight to come from my highlight products. So I will give this a go, even though it's probably something I typically wouldn't reach for. It's kind of got like a lot of like peaches and pinks. There's also like a little bit of like a lilac kind of color in it, so I think it's one of those colors that can really look good on a lot of people. And the price of this one is $28. I definitely don't think I would pay $28 for a blush. Okay, so I'm gonna start off slow because I do not know like how intense this is gonna be. So this is how the blush looks on me. I definitely, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like shimmer blushes. I find that they just emphasize more of the texture of my skin, and I just prefer like the shimmer to be in like one concise area. So the color looks okay though. It kind of has like a goldy reflex to it, but overall it's just kind of like a peachy blush. But yeah, so I mean it looks really pretty, but it's not really anything I'm like you have to go get, or you know, anything I'm super excited about. So the next thing I got in my box is 3 brushes. These are from Alamar Cosmetics. The price of these are $18 for these 3, so that makes about $6 a brush. Now to be honest, I'm not super excited about these brushes either. They definitely feel very lightweight and cheap kind of quality to them, but they are very soft. The only thing is these are just kind of brushes I don't really use that much. Like this one I could use for I guess like under the eyes for setting concealer, so I could use that one. The other one is just kind of like a flat top square type brush that you could use for like smudging the, you know, lower lash line, but again I don't really ever use that type of brush. And then the other one is just a flat kind of synthetic brush that I would probably use this for doing like cutting the crease or something with like concealers, because I don't like synthetic brushes that much when it comes to applying like actual eyeshadow. I just find that the synthetic hairs are sometimes too slick to really like pick up the product, and this one is not very fluffy at all. It's super flat and thin, so yeah, I don't know. And especially for the price of about like $6 a piece, if you break it down, I wouldn't pay $6 for this. It's extremely lightweight and very kind of cheap feeling. So next is the actual eyeshadow palette that came in my box. This one is really pretty. It's another pretty Vulgar cosmetics product. This is I think the 3rd one I've gotten from Boxycharm. This is called the Nightingale palette. So I really love the outer packaging of it. It's really cute. And then on the inside, I like the idea of it, but I don't actually like the what's it called? The like arrangement of the palette. I'm just not a huge fan of eyeshadow palettes that use like different shapes and sizes of pans in a palette. That's just like a super nitpicky thing, but for me personally, I don't like it. It is cute how it's like shaped like a bird cage though. But as far as the colors, it's a very like neutrally to cool toned palette, which I actually really like because those are just colors I'm more apt to use. So the value of this one is $35 and there are 12 shades in here. I think as far as like the color range, it's definitely going to go a little bit deeper, darker, and kind of like smoky kind of like looks you could do with this, but it also kind of reminds me a bit more of like the Naked 2 palette, or the one that I'm using at the moment, the Revealed palette from Coastal Scents. It's definitely got some similar colors going on here. So one other like super nitpicky kind of thing that I don't love is that some of the shadows in here look to be kind of uneven. Like there's one color right here and it's called I Spy. It's like really crooked in the pan here. You probably won't be able to see, but I can see like in person it is super hella crooked, and I tried to like fix it, but I think it's just glued crooked. So I kind of feel like that's just those really tiny details that kind of makes a palette look a little bit cheaper. So to keep this video a little bit shorter, I'm going to do my eyes off camera and come back and show you guys what I think about them and, you know, would I recommend the palette or not. Okay, so I played around with the eyeshadows a bit, and this is the eyeshadow look I came up with. I'll do an up close in just a second. So what I think about this palette, I think it's really good. I like the colors in here. I feel like you get a good range of color, even though it's still very, you know, like cool neutrals is basically kind of what it's mostly gonna give you. You're not gonna get any warm tone looks for this, obviously, but you do have a lot of options for darker shades here, which I really like. There is like a black here that's really good, super deep dark black. This one is a bit more like of a gray toned one. Here's a little bit more of a brown one. I thought that they blended really nicely, super smooth, easy to use, very pigmented, so I definitely like this palette a lot. It's not extremely unique, so if you already have a lot of palettes like this, then obviously, you know, you might want to skip on it, but as far as the quality of it, I do like it, other than some of the little nitpicky things I mentioned earlier. I used about 6 colors. I first went with the color Hide and Seek in the crease, then I darkened it up with Flip Out, then on the lower lash line I did Swoop, and I did All Night, and then I used the color Nocturnal here to do an underbrow kind of highlight thing. It's a very good sort of like eraser color for my skin tone, so if you kind of bring your eyeshadow up a little bit too high, I like to use that to kind of, you know, bring back that color a little bit. And then I did just a little bit of this pearly kind of color, Break Free, in the inner corner. So yeah, I'm super happy with this palette. I think that it worked pretty well, and yeah, I think I'll get a ton of use out of it because these colors just are really up my alley. And quickly, here is an up close of the eyeshadows. I just really like this. You can get a really good smoky kind of look with this palette, and yeah, so I'm super happy with it. And really quickly, the brushes. So I tried to use this one for blending in the crease. It was just a little bit too large for my liking. I did use the kind of square topped one for my lower lash line. It definitely did a pretty good job. The only thing is it just kind of felt a little uncomfortable just because it's got that edge there to the brush. So it's really good if you want like a super crisp, clean line. But for me, I typically just use like a pencil brush, and then I didn't even use this one just because I know I wouldn't like it for eyeshadow. So the brushes for me are just a little bit meh. Okay, so the next product I got, I'm kind of afraid to use because this could ruin the whole look, but we will see. This is from Butter London. It's called the Stroke of Wow Roll-On Eyeliner. So it's very similar to that MAC one that came out, you know, last year, where it basically looks like a little like wheel at the end here, like a little teeny tiny pizza cutter. I have never used any of these eyeliners before, so this is definitely probably going to go bad, so I'm just prepared that my makeup's gonna look jacked at the end of this. And the value of this is $19. Okay, so wish me luck because this is going to be the worst. Definitely feels weird. I mean, I like the idea of it, but of course, MAC originally came out with this kind of idea, so sorry, Butter London, no points for, you know, creativity on this one. It definitely is one of those things that like on paper sounds good, but in person, I think it's just a little bit hard to use. I think like obviously the whole point of it is to kind of be able to do like one like foul swoop to do your eyeliner, but that's definitely not the case for me. I'll try to do it in one shot on this eye, but I just feel like it's going to be a little difficult. Okay, here we go. One shot. Okay, that did not work well. The other thing is like you have to get at a really awkward like angle to kind of get the brush to go across the lash line. Okay, that was like really, really bad. Let me try to fix this. Okay, I'm gonna try a winged liner and see if like maybe that's the saving grace of this product. At this point, I just couldn't really get like a really soft, like obviously on a flat surface, yeah, no problem. You can get like a super easy thin line, but your eye is not a flat surface, so definitely not my best eyeliner look, but let's try a winged liner. Maybe this will be what it's best for. Ugh, I don't think so. I don't know if you could see that, but that's not looking good. You know, like it was maybe good for that initial like outward line, but coming back in, I don't think so. Okay, so I'm not like an eyeliner pro, but I have been doing winged eyeliner for like 11 years now, so I'm pretty, god damn it. God damn it! When in doubt, just put on more black eyeshadow. Okay, like I was saying, I'm not an eyeliner expert to where like it comes out perfectly every time, but I'm super used to doing winged liner and liquid liner because I've been doing it for about 11 years now, and this just takes me like 1000% longer, and it doesn't, you know, make it easier. It doesn't really turn out any better than what I could do like freehand. So for me, I'm just gonna have to kind of give this a thumbs down. And the final product I got is a liquid lipstick. This is from the brand Hank and Henry. I've never heard of this before. This is valued at $17. I feel like that's kind of standard for a liquid lipstick. So let's see. This one is in the color Petal Pusher. Ooh, it has that kind of a cake battery scent to it. Reminds me a lot of the, what's it called? The NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. So that's what it has, that same kind of scent. So far I like the actual color itself. I'll see how I like it on me. But the brush is kind of like one of those diamond shaped brushes. So I feel like it's gonna be really good to get more precise kind of application because it goes so thin at the top. Okay, so this is how it looks on me. I have to say I'm never a huge fan of like these super dark colors on me. So as far as the color itself, I think it's pretty. I just don't really prefer it on my skin tone. It's definitely not the thinnest feeling liquid lipstick ever. As far as the color goes, I don't know, it's pretty, but I feel like this might be another product to pass on to my mom because like these are just her colors and I feel like something like this might be something she would like. Okay, so really quickly, what I liked, what I didn't like. So first off was the blush. I honestly just didn't care for this that much. I don't really do sparkly blushes that often and just way overpriced for a blush in my opinion. Next, for the brushes, again, I kind of give these a thumbs down just because they're not really brushes I typically use, and I have quite a few brushes like this and I don't use these style of brushes anyway. Next was the palette. I really love the palette. I think it's totally good. Really nice, pretty colors. I'm happy I have it. Definitely something I would personally get a lot of use out of because the colors are my style. So probably my favorite thing of this box is the eyeshadow palette. The eyeliner, just a little bit too gimmicky for me. So definitely like a fun idea for a product, but as far as like using it in actuality, I find it's just much harder to use. But maybe there's someone out there who really loves this type of product, but for me, it's just a no-go. And finally, the lip product. I like the lip product, I just don't like the color on me. So again, another, I wouldn't really necessarily call it like a thumbs down, but kind of meh. I would say for the blush and for the lip product, these are my meh products. For thumbs down, I would definitely say the brushes and the eyeliners, and for like my thumbs up, I would definitely say the eyeshadow palette. Usually at the end of these videos, I like to kind of go back and give you an update from the last box, but I honestly just don't feel like doing that, and I don't really think there were that many standout products to me that are coming off the top of my head that I super love. So the overall total for my box this month was $117. I find that's a little bit on the lower side, but you know, pretty much in the mid-range. So overall, what do I think of this box? I have to say, you know, there's really only one like strong favorite, and for me that is the eyeshadow palette. And since the eyeshadow palette is $35, I do feel like, you know, I at least got my money's worth from this box, but all these other products I wasn't a huge fan of. Probably things I'll either give to friends or family members or things like that, just because I don't feel like I need to keep these really. At least I think the palette still made it worth it for me, so I'm not really that unhappy with it, but I feel like the last few months have been a little hit or miss with products, so I feel like that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But I am having really high expectations for October's box. I haven't seen anything for it yet, but just, you know, October and Halloween, it's my birth month, it's my favorite time of the year, it's fall time, but I'm really looking forward to the October box, so I hope it doesn't disappoint me, but of course I will do a video on that when it comes in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.